This week, I have got whiplash from going back and forth with this Conjuring house situation to the point where it's nigh on impossible to keep up with what's going on. So obviously, we all knew that basically Jason Hawes did not want to take on the Conjuring house until the Conjuring house was essentially put upon him by Andrea Perrin in a plea for him to take it on in a now uploaded Facebook video. Which also then led to a sparked, kind of tense back and forth between Jason Hawes and Elton Castay. The Conjuring house situation just got a little bit crazier. So obviously, as we know, on the 31st of October, the Conjuring house, a place that is touted to be the most haunted location arguably in the world, is going to be going up for auction. Now, we know for a lot of that a lot of people are interested in this property, right? So we've got Elton Castay and Matt Rife who have registered their interest. We know that CJ Faison has kind of registered his interest. Sam and Colby are believed to have registered their interest a little bit. And also Jason Hawes has registered his interest, but on behalf of the paranormal community, starting up his GoFundMe. If you don't know about all of the stuff that's kind of gone on so far and building up to this point, the most previous videos that I've put out kind of get you up to speed, so go and check those out and then come back to this one. But Jake Art put up a video not too long ago, I think it was yesterday, basically talking about the fundraiser and talking about where we're at with things. And in the comments section of said video, it got a little bit heated. So the video that was posted by Jake Arts was this one right here. The Conjuring house GoFundMe raised how much already? And this was posted on the 4th of October, as you can see. And then down in the comments, there was the GoFundMe link, and it's completely optional, all the rest of it. But Jason's image here, right? He put up a comment stating, "Thanks for the video. Just to be clear here, the only reason I started a GoFundMe was for the possible purchase of the Conjuring house and to make it as accessible for all. Some may ask why I would do that. Well, the simple explanation is after stating endless times that I don't want the property, I was asked by Andrea to get involved." Andrea Perrin, of course, being the eldest daughter of the Perrin family from the Conjuring movie, if you think back to that movie. And here's the bottom line. In business, if you spend your money, you always try to make it back plus profit. I don't want to do that. That would make me just as bad as many others. But if we can do this as a community, the property does not need to be used as a money machine. This return will allow the other 80% of people, not just those who can afford the $2,000 to $3,000 per night, to visit the property. So as long as the property is able to pay for itself, its upkeep, and to better itself, then it's good enough for me. I refuse to use it as a cash cow, and I refuse to take advantage of those looking to see the place. Obviously, that has been the sentiment of Jason throughout this entire thing. He said that in his original video. He also said that completely up until this point. To be fair, he's also said that he's just not interested in it in any capacity. Anyway, moving forwards from this, if you look down in the comment section, obviously people have all responded to this, suddenly changed your mind, all the rest of it. People are saying how he's a good man. It's a bit of a double-edged thing. People are happy for him. Some people are saying, aren't getting the idea. That's obviously down to people's perspective. But there is a comment just here, right, which kind of sparked a bit of a snowball effect for a lot of the shit that we've just seen unfold. So, in the comment section of this video, this user wrote, "Why are you predicting $2,000 to $3,000 per night? Where is this coming from? We don't know what anyone is going to do with this house. Stop giving people the idea about what might happen if someone else gets the house. Stop making stuff, I'm assuming, up. Just let the house go up for auction and let the best man win. It may be the perfect person who wants the best for the house." Now, Jason responded to this and stated, "Seriously, because it's what's just happened, right? That's what happened. That's what's been happening, and that's what's being planned here." Now, interestingly, right, overnight, so Elton Castay and Matt Rife obviously just recently purchased the Warren house. They saw this as a potential attack on them specifically. Now, obviously, no names were named, so we don't know who this was aimed at, but overnight, and Elton and Well, I'm going to speak on Elton. I can't speak on the behalf of Matt because I know it's Elton that runs this channel. Obviously, saw this as a potential attack on themselves. To which Elton, or Overnight, whoever runs that page, wrote, I don't know why you're taking a dig at me when you have absolutely zero idea what the expenses are of operating the Warren House and Museum. You have no idea how much it costs to even get it up to code, the staff, the employee insurance, the home insurance, the utilities, the permits, the mold removal, fencing, security system, parking lot, and at least 50 other things. Oh, and let's not forget the CT short-term rental tax and sales tax that are included in my pricing. You have literally zero clue what you're referencing when you make me when you use me as part of your narrative to why no one else should own it. Everyone, of course, can state their own reasons as to why they should be the owner, but you're completely fabricating a narrative as leveraging it to get people to donate to you. When stating all of this is quote unquote for profit / price gouging BS. We know how many years and years and years it will take us to get to even break even, and that's pre-tax. Come on, dude. It's a bit tacky to try and skew the information, especially information that you absolutely do not have. Best of luck to you, but I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to do and restore at the Warrens. And if you watched any shred of my live streams, there you would know that I think that's supposed to say then you would know that I care a shit ton and respect about the home and the most affordable paranormal investigation experience that we can offer people. While we don't go into the red every day of operations, because unfortunately it is a business and businesses have to at least get back and to break even, which is a revolving door and expenses beyond the purchasing price. Now, I know Elton has expressed countless times on live stream shorts and all the rest of it that, him and Matt have basically crunched numbers as hard as they can to try and make it as cheap as possible while still making it a profitable business. I mean, I guess that is just business, but obviously, Elton's seen this as a potential attack on him directly. Anyway, he put up another one as well, stating, how do you know that? What are your sources? Who have you spoken to? So obviously he's referencing here the $2,000 to $3,000. The quote-unquote just happened implied that you're speaking about me, and I wasn't aware you were part of the 200 days of planning, work, and financials that went into opening that location. Also, I didn't realize all locations are the same as the Conjuring house. Also has a priceless collection of haunted items, paintings, paranormal investigation equipment, personal belongings, and more that need to be protected and preserved at all times. Comparing apples to oranges when you haven't even seen the inside of an orange. Obviously, gets quite heated over there. Jason did respond to this in the comment section once again, and he moved down. Now, people in the comments were then starting to kind of... there's a bit of a rift, you'll notice, after these comments in particular, where people are like starting to go kind of Team Jason, Team Elton, which is... it's disappointing to see, because obviously the idea of this is to kind of unite the paranormal. That was kind of the point of it. Do you know what I mean? But such is the way of life. Overnight, hey man, that's what I am saying. If the cost of the property and fixing it up is high, then the cost of people visiting is going to be high. It's not a personal attack. It's business. I understand that. All I am stating is it makes it so that 80 to 90% of the people who can't afford to go to these locations. It's not me attacking you. It's me trying to help all. I had a place tell me the other day that they were going to be $3,000 for me to come for 5 hours. Now, I can do that, but how many of those in the community can? So all I'm saying is, if the community comes together to help the property, that in return allows the price to stay down. You and I have spoke. It was always positive. The property has no intentions of being the property I had no intentions of being involved in. Those who have grown up there, had their stories told, their past owners, neighbours have all asked me to step in. That's all I'm doing here, trying to save it for them. And the only way for me to do that is to get the community involved as well. So please understand, I'm not attacking your business model. I understand your business model and how to recoup out of pocket costs, etc. If you spend a lot of money, you need to cover those expenses. There's nothing wrong with that. But if everybody comes together out of and the out of pocket isn't that high, then you're able to keep the prices much lower. If you want to discuss this, shoot me a message where we originally connected. I don't want this to become a big public blowout. And then Jason responded once again to overnight. Hopefully you see my reply below. But also, the people are free to research this to make sure that it's the truth. If we get into a bidding war, nothing over the 1.2 that she owes gets sent to her. The very woman that did this to all of those who asked for my assistance. That's the law. The bank gets paid first. They take what's owed for the mortgage plus fees. If the auction price goes above what's owed, the extra money, the profit goes back to the current owner of the property. Obviously, that will be Jacqueline Nunes. So, for example, if she owes 1.2 million and the house sells for 5 million, the bank will take 1.2 million that it's owed, and the remaining 3.8 million goes straight to Jacqueline. In most cases, that helps save and protect the person. In this case, it gives a huge payday to the person that created the very nightmare. Obviously, it's just thing after thing. Every time when you think, right, we can put that chapter to bed, the Conjuring house, we can kind of like shift on with our lives, something else blows up. And now, obviously, as we kind of draw closer to the official bidding date of October 31st, the Halloween, it seems that tensions are getting high. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some other public fallouts or feuds go on off the back of this. Obviously, it's not. I don't think this was the intention of Jason at all. Bear in mind, right, I think people are very quick to forget that Jason didn't actually want this place. Like, he literally had zero intention of purchasing it. And that's why he doesn't want to be out of pocket, and that's why he's trying to do it in the way that he's doing it. A lot of people are very quick to kind of, just not overnight in particular, but kind of looking at the comment section, people are very quick to be like, oh, you want to make a cash cow. He's always said that he doesn't want it. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below while you're down there. Jump scare the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace. Moving on from that, Jason led to another huge update, basically stating that he will be taking on the Conjuring house. He is going to be doing his darndest to get this GoFundMe rolling so that he is able to purchase the Conjuring house. The fight for the Conjuring house seems to be back on, as Jason Hawes has literally just uploaded a brand new video, Conjuring house update. And this is the video that you can see on your screens right now. And the idea is that Jason basically addresses the situation that has been going on over the past few days, references a few things that have been going on without directly naming names, and also kind of clears up some misconceptions with regards to the GoFundMe. Now, we're going to break all of that down because there's a lot of parts to this, okay? The first part is the GoFundMe link went down for a little while. A lot of people were speculating, has Jason given up? Has he chosen to step away? Is it completely off the cards? It doesn't seem as if that is the case, as Jason lets us know within this video that that is not the case at all. He also kind of clarifies the reason for him wanting to do this and really kind of doubles down on the fact that although he didn't want to do it, he outlines the reasons that he has chosen to kind of step into the game, and then also addresses kind of loosely some of the things that have been going on recently in a bit more of an upbeat and less somber video. So the intent is definitely there. So let's take a little listen to what Jason's got to say, because I've got a few things to kind of add into it, but this is what he had to say.
Hey everybody, Jason Hawes here. So I wanted to let everybody know, first off, the GoFundMe is back up and it's running. There was a glitch, had to take care of some stuff with it, and that's fine. It's for everybody's safety. But we were cranking along. I mean, it was a historic movement. The first 2 days alone, the communities came together to save the Conjuring house and were able to raise almost $60,000. Now we still have about 24 days left.
Now, obviously, that's quite a big deal. So he states there, the link was down. People were messaging me being like, has Jason called it off? People in the comment section of videos, Jason's link's not working. This must mean that he's like backed out of the race for it and all the rest of it. No, I don't think that was the case. I think it was taken down. You know, who knows how, who knows why. It's just one of those things. But the link is back active once again. Jason has confirmed it here. And also stated that a monumentous amount of money that has been raised so far, $60,000 in 2 days, is nothing to be ashamed of, right? That's quite a boastful amount of money.
And I want to get that train going again, because you know what? This is all about the community coming together to try to save this property and make it accessible for all. The only reason we're here, let's be honest, is Andrea Perrin made a plea video asking me to get involved. And I felt the only way I could get involved without really being 100% vested and having to spend a ton of my own money was to try to pull everybody together under the premise that if we did this and we were able to acquire the property, we could keep the prices cheap.
Now, I think just as well on that, a lot of people I've seen in comment sections of not just my video, but other people's videos as well have said, Jason's got a net worth of about $3 million from a quick Google search, right? That's what people have said. And, you know, he can afford to buy this property outright, right? He can just go and spend his money. But I think, you know, people forget, right, that Jason actually didn't want anything to do with this. He stated that countless times over and over and over and over again. And he said he doesn't want it. So obviously he's not going to invest his own money, not for the reason of that he doesn't want to, but for the reason he just stated there. If he does invest his own money, right, let's put this into layman's terms. If he does invest his own money, he's going to have to try and make that money back. Because, you know, I don't know what he does with his money or what his money's used for. That's his business. But that's just business. You have to, if you're going to invest, you have to make the money back and then also profit to keep the business sustained and paying for itself. That's just economics 101. But Jason doesn't want to do that, because if he does purchase it, he's going to want to make his money back. He's also going to need profit to be able to pay for the property to pay for itself. And then the prices are going to be $2,000 to $3,000 a night, like what we saw with Jacqueline Nunes with her at the helm, right? Where she was charging content creators $2,500 to just go and film a video, which is obviously what Jason doesn't want to do. He wants to get the community to chip in so that he can gift it essentially to the community. He won't be the owner per se. Well, he will financially and on a lease, but he'll make it an LLC, which will basically mean that it's a bit more of a public company than it is a private company. So, yeah, I think that's getting lost in translation.
Just enough to cover its running expenses. It's not lining pockets. There's not looking to be these profits made out of it. It's looking to try to cover expenses so the prices are lower and everybody's able to go there. So I don't want a business where I have to charge $1,500, $2,000 like they used to charge. I want to keep it lower so everybody can enjoy this. And that's what it's about. So what we're trying to do here, and what we have been doing, let's be honest, it's historic. I've never seen anything like this, is raise the funds in hopes that we can acquire the property and that others understand that we're just trying to do what we are asked to do. We're trying to take Andrea's plea and make it happen. And I think that's what it's about. So it's not about trying to hurt anybody else's business plans or take the opportunity away from anybody or damn anybody who might end up outbidding us to get this property.
Obviously there, it's quite clear he's referencing the recent situation that's been going on with Elton Castay in the comment section of Jay Cart's videos, right? Like, that's pretty expected, you know. Obviously that couldn't be left unsaid and untouched to a degree because it was always going to need to be addressed at some point. So he's just kind of addressing that there, obviously.
It's about us trying to save this place and get it open for everybody. And you all have, I've seen people from around the globe come together, and it's been amazing. It really has. And I want to see that continue. We've got enough time. We can do this. I mean, this can be a historic movement like nobody's ever seen. I just got done doing 3 news interviews because of how amazed they are in what's been going on. And I just want to see that continue.
Obviously, this is quite a historic movement when you think about it. When have we ever seen, not just like, I'm not talking in general, but I'm talking about like people actually coming together rallying a community to try and save a historic location that everyone wants to be able to enjoy. I can't think of a single time when that's happened. I can think of times when communities have come together to work on things and to, you know, support creators and stuff like that. But I can't think of a single time where people have come together in this kind of capacity to save a property that everybody was, let's be real, bitching and moaning about over the past like 18 months. Me included, right? We've all been like, what's going on at the Conjuring house is an absolute calamity. And people were like, I would love to be able to get the property off of Jacqueline Nunez's hands. This is your opportunity to do so. Like, Jason is literally gifting an opportunity to people. And, you know, obviously, like, it'd be easy for someone like me to just go and do that. But I've not got the pulling power that Jason's got. I haven't got the community spirit like Jason's got. And obviously, he's got experience and a lot of followers behind him. And a lot of fans from his ghost hunting TV days. You know, he's got the pull power, and he's the best fit for this job, in my opinion. Like, you know, and you wouldn't... I can't imagine anyone else doing this. You wouldn't see a Sam and Colby doing this, I don't think. You wouldn't see Matt and Elton doing this, I don't think. And that's not shots at those people. Like, that's just because they want the property, and that's fine. You know, build up your business portfolios. Do what you've got to do. Do what you can do. We've all got to make a living in life. But obviously, Jason's trying to listen out to Andrea's pleas as well, which is commendable. Again, though, I don't want people to be like, oh, you've taken shots at Elton and Sam and Colby. Not at all. Not at all. Like, that's not the intention whatsoever. The idea is to be like, you know, if those people wanted to, they could. But they want the property to be able to put it out for themselves, which is fine. And that's absolutely fine. Like, no one... That's not an issue. And Jason's also said, that's not an issue. But, you know, Jason just doesn't want to tread on toes, but he wants to be able to give people that opportunity. I think that's the idea of what I'm trying to say. I've worded that terribly. I'm probably going to get some heat for this. I hope I don't.
So, and the whole idea here is if we can acquire the property, then we'll transfer it, we'll put it into an LLC. People from the past, the Heinzens, Corey and Jen, Aaron Bush, they're going to help make sure that everything's okay and that it's running properly and go from there. But I appreciate the help, and I appreciate the outpouring of support, especially those who understand that I fought this battle about not being involved for the longest time. And the only reason I got involved in the whole thing in the first place was to protect those and give those who were hurt in the past a voice, and just also a way to protect themselves. Now we're here in an area that I figured I wasn't going to be anywhere involved in. But Andrea made that video, and you know what? And Andrea's, let's remember, Andrea's birthday is on Friday too, so happy birthday, Andrea, we love you. And let's see what we can do. Let's see if we're able to accomplish this together. Because, I mean, I saw what we did in 2 days. In 2 days. I can't imagine what we can do in 24 more. So let's shatter some records here. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. If you haven't seen the video that I'm talking about, please check out Andrea Perrin's video. You can also check out the videos on the GoFundMe page. If you can donate, great. If you can't, even a share helps. But much love from me to you. Stay safe, keep it real, and on to the next.
There you go. So that's the video from Jason, kind of giving us all a brief update. Now, at the time of creating this video, let me just hit refresh because I pulled this up earlier. Jason and the community have been able to raise $59,839 US. That's quite an astounding amount of money, as you can probably tell. And that is from 1,600 donations. That's huge. Obviously, their goal is a $1.5 million, and they are 4% of their way towards that goal. And nothing else has really changed. You can obviously see people showing a lot of respect from Norway, for example, you know, respecting and persevering with the Conjuring house. Really pleased he's decided to take this on, Jason. Now, obviously, you know, I don't think, well, first of all, that was a way more upbeat video than Jason's initial video, where you could tell he was kind of torn between the idea of wanting to and not wanting to. Here, he's clearly a lot more decided on his decision, let's say. In my opinion, anyway, that's how I kind of perceive that to be. But also, I think he's ready. You know, I think he's had some time to clearly mull over this, and he's like, actually, this could be a pretty cool thing. You know, if he gets outbid, I'm sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos being like, what happens if the bid doesn't go through? What's going to happen with people's money? Jason's already stated he will be refunding every single person. None of this money is to go into Jason's pocket. It's all to either go to the Conjuring house or back to the people that paid it. I don't know how they do that, but that's what he's outlined is going to happen. And then, obviously, you know, other people are still going to be interested. We know CJ's Faison's involved, Elton and Matt Rife are involved, Sam and Colby I think might be involved. I don't know for certain. We'll find out on the 16th of October. And, you know, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But all I can know is that it's going to get interesting. Very, very interesting. What do you guys think, though? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down in the comments below. Who do you think would be the best fit for the house? Let me know that as well. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button. Share this video. Share Jason's GoFundMe. And, you know, be respectful. Peace. Peace. Then Elton Castay responded to the drama that has been going on between himself and Jason Hawes. The latest Conjuring saga has very quickly become one in a very long line of dramas and ongoing feuds, if you want to even call it that, with regards to the property. Now, just a quick overbrief if you haven't kind of kept up to date with everything going on with the Conjuring house at the moment. So the property is going up for sale after it was foreclosed by the bank from Jacqueline Nunez after basically bills weren't getting paid on the 31st of October. So that's when it's going to be going up for auction. People from around the world and around America in particular are coming to try and get their hands on this property. There is a long list of ever-growing names who are interested in taking over this property, that has been touted as the most haunted location on the world. And obviously, we've seen recently that Elton and Matt Rife, after kind of purchasing the Warrens house, has come in to this fold and said that they're interested in it. They registered their interest way, way, way long ago when all of this kicked off, if you remember, when Elton was over on Twitter saying, listen, what's going on with the Conjuring house? We're happy to take it over. We're happy to pay all of the debt and all the rest of it and just give it a fresh start. And they're still holding to that. Now, Andrea Perrin obviously made a YouTube video, or a Facebook video, sorry, calling for Jason Hawes to basically come and support in this time. Bless me. And to try and, you know, raise the funds to purchase the property because she believes he's the best fit for the property. Now, Jason doesn't want to obviously put his own money in because if he puts his own money in, then he needs to make a return and then the prices will need to be hiked in order to make said return possible. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to make it accessible for like 90% of other people who can afford to go to the Conjuring house. He just wants to be able to make enough money from the Conjuring house for it to be able to be self-sufficient, and he stated he'll put it into an LLC. Therefore, he created the GoFundMe for the Conjuring house, at which he has made $65,000 of their $1.5 million target. Very, very good stuff. And that's just within, I think it's 4 or 5 days of starting. Now, moving on from this, there was obviously a bit of a spat between, not a spat, but basically Jason said some things that Elton believed to be shots fired at him. He responded in a manner on Jay Cart's videos, and Jay Cart's has put out a video kind of addressing of that situation at this current time, basically stating in the video, my thoughts on overnight comments to Jason Hawes, we just need to come together. And within the comment section of this video, Overnight has once again, Elton has once again left some more comments kind of responding to the ongoing saga. Now, where do I sit with this is something that I've seen a lot of people ask. I actually don't really mind who gets their hands on the property. I really don't. You know, like, it's fair game. If I think Jason can do a great job of it, I think Matt and Elton can do a great job of it. I like what Jason's doing by involving the community. That's fantastic, and he's doing it on behalf of Andrea Perrin, who's asked him to do it. Do I think that Matt and Elton will be a good fit for it? Yeah, I think they would. I think they've obviously, you know, people are comparing it to the Warrens house because of how expensive it is to go there. Now, the breakdown costs, we don't need to go into. It's none of our business. It's down to Matt and Elton. Elton stated countless times that he's crunched the numbers as much as he can to try and get the costs as low as possible. He's even stated that within the videos that I've posted. Now, I'm not going to speculate and use... I only ever go off of information that I can physically see. I will never kind of veer down speculation routes because, you know, then the water gets murky. But within the video that I highlighted here, my thoughts on Overnight's comments to Jason Hawes, we just need to come together. Elton, once again, has responded to this and stated, "Heyo, firstly, I think that you're never attacking me or taking a jab at me ever at all. Your opinion is your opinion and it's your damn channel. You've always been incredibly level-headed and I appreciate that. I also super appreciate when you did inevitably take down the video with the wrong pricing information because that did start to cause a lot of drama for me that I had to fight off." I know a lot of people jumped onto this to kind of talk about the situation, and you know, people have made lots of videos about the pricing, calling it overpriced and all the rest of it. Ultimately, it is a business, and I think what's a shame in this instance is Matt and Elton, obviously it's a high notoriety purchase, like everybody's talking about it, so it was always going to get a lot of attention. But if you look at other properties around the world, right, other properties are charging just as much, if not more, to go. And I think Elton and Matt are getting a bit of a rough stick for this because, you know, they're obviously, it's just a high profile thing that they've done. Do I think it's fair? Not necessarily. Anyway, secondly, I see that my comments are displaying out of order on your video. My initial comment was the one that I was messaged and texted by quite a few people when he said it just happened, which undoubtedly is the Warren house. That's obviously in reference to Jason's message. That was my initial response because that was the one I was sent and saw first. In fact, Jason even admitted to me that his that he's genuinely disappointed that someone in the paranormal community, community I love so, In fact, Jason even admitted to me that his comment about the just happened was in fact about the Warrens Museum. That wasn't delusion. He straight up told me that in a Twitter DM. So yeah, I for sure got pretty upset, just genuinely disappointed that someone in the paranormal community, a community that I love so dearly and have been a part of every day for the last 6 years, was taking a jab at me and or using the property I have poured my heart and soul into as part of his argument for why he should be the owner, especially when I've given everything that I have to ensure that the Warrens would be proud of the home today. The neighbours are happy, the city is happy, the family is happy, and of course every single person that does visit the home has an incredible experience worth well beyond what they paid. That's what led to the second comment. For sure, I should have shut the fuck up, but after my situation last year with my partner and 5 years of trying to skew things and make up lies, I felt the immediate need to defend myself, not making excuses, just explaining. I've said all of this to Jason as well and expressed these exact same things. Anyways, flying to Benin tomorrow to live with voodoo practitioners for the next few days. Now, let's be real here. That's a very fair, level-headed response. You know, obviously, Elton responded with the initial reaction, which is not always the greatest idea. I'm not telling Elton how he should or shouldn't respond, and I'm not telling anyone, and I never would even attempt to do that. But what I am saying is, obviously, when you react with your initial response, sometimes you say things that you a bit more heated than you initially would if you kind of mull over it for at least an hour or two to then respond to it. Obviously, you know, he is defending his property, which he's poured clearly a lot of money into. That's respectable. Do I think that Jason wanted to call him out and then to provoke heat? No, I don't. I think Jason's, from what I know of Jason, kind of talking to him behind the scenes and stuff, and, you know, I talk to him quite frequently. He's a really sound guy, genuinely. Like, I don't think I've ever met someone of his kind of profile to be so down to earth. Like, and I don't think that he would have done, like, let's not forget, he doesn't actually even want the Conjuring house, or he didn't at least, but I think he might do now. So at this point, he does care, but I don't think he's too bothered if he does or doesn't get it. For the sake of the community, I think he wants to get it, but for the sake of himself, I think he probably would rather it went to someone else. But then again, you know, I'm not going to talk on his behalf because it's not my place to. That's just kind of based off of the expression that he's given in recent videos and from the sentiment from the jump. Obviously, this is a good response from Elton, kind of putting the drama to bed and basically being like, look, what's done is done. This is why I responded in such a way. I've spoken to Jason on Twitter DMs. They've clearly hashed it out from behind the scenes from what it would seem like. Let's hope that we can move forward from this, draw a line under it. And, you know, it's a case of may the best person win. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be about egos, which I don't think it is yet, but there's a possibility that it could if this was to continue. I don't think it should be about who's got the bigger bank account, who's got the higher profile. It should just be about what's best for the property and the community. There you go. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace. Then we got the absolute bombshell news that the Conjuring house has officially been sold. Well, sort of. Huge update from the Conjuring house late on, as it has been confirmed, well, sort of, loosely confirmed, that the auction that will be taking place on October 31st for the Conjuring house property has officially, sort of, been cancelled. This is obviously huge news because there has been rifts within the paranormal community. People stating, of course, that, you know, Elton and Jason coming to blows over the Conjuring house, and Jason setting up the GoFundMe, Elton registering interest with Matt Rife, other people also registering interest, and in the midst of all of this, someone has swooped in and decided to pay off all of the debts early doors and has basically taken over the property before it had the opportunity to go to auction. This has been confirmed by the Providence Now 7 Journal. The Conjuring house has been sold on Tuesday auction and the auction has been cancelled. Burrillville, Rhode Island, the Conjuring house was sold according to Massachusetts-based auction firm JJ Manning Auctioneers, who were the property developers that were going to be, or the bank people and the auctioneers that were going to be selling the property. The house located Round Top Road in Burrillville was scheduled for auction off on October 31st, which has since been cancelled allegedly. Needham Bank, which owns the home at the current time, sold the house according to the listing. Paranormal investigator Jason Hawes was a potential bidder of the home, having created a GoFundMe in an effort to raise $1.5 million to prevent the auction. On Tuesday, Hawes raised over $67,000. It is unknown who purchased the home at this current time, but according to JJ Manning Auctioneers, the house went to auction after the previous owner, Jacqueline Nunes, broke the conditions of her mortgage. Nunes has been running the house since the paranormal attraction until town officials let its entertainment license expire after several issues, including what they called erratic behavior by Nunes. She currently has a bench warrant out for missing a court date after a DUI arrest last year. Obviously, this is quite groundbreaking news considering we were all kind of getting hyped for the end of October to kind of see this bidding war take place, and then suddenly someone just out of nowhere, during all of the chaos and all of the insane stuff, just swooped in and tried to like sweep it up. Now, Jason Hawes, of course, is very well aware of this. Over on GoFundMe, he has taken down the GoFundMe until further details are announced. Right this second, he is live over on his YouTube channel. I'm going to kind of do a video on that tomorrow to kind of talk about what he knows. Based off of the bits and pieces that I've seen from his live stream, it looks as if Matt and Elton weren't the ones that swooped in and just picked it up early doors. I think they were also waiting for the auction to take place. Obviously, speculation right now is pretty rampant. A lot of people kind of questioning, well, who came in, who picked up the property. We don't actually know. Truly, we don't know. Now, I am intrigued because one of the key leading speculating answers is Zach Bagans. I don't know if that is the case. That is just pure speculation at this current time. It literally could be anybody. We don't know. Obviously, it's kind of crazy to see this, how this event has completely flipped on its head, because literally no more than about 23 hours ago, there were press junkets being released about the Conjuring home auction promoting Jason Hawes's attempts to try and build up the funds for the property, like this one right here.
Boston 25 News reporter Eli Murillo in Rhode Island. If you're familiar with the Conjuring universe, then you know that the farm you see behind me put that franchise on the map. For the past several weeks, I've been connecting many dots, from the grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren to Andrea Perrin, who actually lived in this home, all the way down to Jason Hawes, who she's calling to buy the property. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, it exists, and now we're sharing their side of the story. I first connected with Chris McKinnell back in 2023.
This has been how long in the making, Chris?
A year, maybe more.
Chris has taken up the family business. His grandparents, Ed and Lorraine Warren, are famous paranormal investigators. One of the Warrens' most famous case was the inspiration for the 2013 box office hit film, The Conjuring.
Clap.
Back in 1971, the Warrens were called out to this home in Burlesville, Rhode Island, to investigate an alleged haunting. Now the infamous home is set to go up for auction after going into foreclosure.
I just don't want it to be sold as another paranormal trap.
As word of the auction continued to grow,
Jason Hawes, I know you're out there. I know you're listening.
Andrea Perrin grew up in this house. She is the eldest daughter of the Perrin family, who lived in this farmhouse for 10 years. She tells me the fact that it's now up for sale has ignited a sense of urgency to find the right person to take on the responsibility of owning the property. She says that person is former Ghost Hunters paranormal investigator Jason Hawes.
He is a man of honor and integrity and authenticity and has made significant strides in the field of the paranormal.
Jason opened the doors to his home to Boston 25's crew.
I've stated numerous times I had no interest in that. This is just not the path I saw my life going down. And then Andrea Perrin made a video.
Now he's spearheaded Andrea's request. Thousands already raised with a GoFundMe page in support.
Who knows if this will happen? Who knows if it'll work? But you know what? I think no matter what, if it does or if it doesn't, we've created a movement.
Andrea says this movement has brought believers and non-believers together, and she hopes her wish is granted.
And more importantly, the farm deserves him.
It's a piece of history, whether it's the paranormal history or history in general. It's a piece of history, and it needs to be protected.
Andrea tells me that before her mother passed, she shared a specific message, and that's that even if they left the farm could never leave them. To get involved and to learn more about this movement, head on over to our website, boston25news.com. For now, we're in Rhode Island. I'm Eli Murillo for your local station, Boston 25 News.
And many other news outlets were also talking about this, creating videos and articles just like this to try and promote it, talk about it, get, you know, all of these people kind of talking about the situation. Truly, I didn't see this one coming. I did not. I really thought it was going to be the long game. Now, like I say, at this current time, Jason is live over on his YouTube channel, still talking to his friend. Obviously, people in the comment section are all talking about, you know, the Conjuring house. People saying that they hope that it isn't Zach. We don't know who it is at this current time. We have to wait and see. But that is where speculation is headed right now. Everyone has kind of got one name on their lips, and they think that it could potentially be Zach Bagans. Now, at this current time, over on Zach's social media pages, radio silence. I don't know whether that's because, you know, while paperwork's being sorted, it's just up to that. Over on his Twitter page as well, nobody's really talking about the Conjuring house. If we go over to like Twitter and we literally just type in Conjuring house, it's crickets, really. It is crickets. No one's really just people asking who bought it. Did Zach buy the Conjuring house? Auction cancelled, of course, due to the foreclosure. No one's really stepping up and saying, yeah, we're the ones that have taken it over. Massive spanner in the works. Did not see this come in whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Who do you think you got their hands on it? Obviously, this is a live story, so I'll be keeping you guys as best up to date as I can. As soon as we find out, and as soon as I find out, I will be sure to let you guys know. But yeah, I'll speak to you later. Peace. Because straight after this, we found out that the sale isn't in fact off. It's very much still on. In what honestly can only be described as a crazy turn of events, the Conjuring House saga may not be over. Yesterday, we got the news that the Conjuring House won't be going to auction. Now that is still the case from what I gather, but we've just had a huge new update because we didn't know who bought the house or bought the debt for the house, but we may know some other things potentially based off of Jason Hawes' latest Facebook post, because he's basically stated that it's not over yet. What the hell? So, over on Facebook, Jason 36 minutes ago posted, with recent developments and information that's just come to light, we are resuming our fundraising efforts with more urgency than ever. Very ambiguous, very unclear as to what is actually going on. And this is huge, right? So over on Facebook, obviously, the second that it was found out that these guys won't be, the house is not going to be going up for sale anymore, the fundraiser was taken down, right? And it was going to go back and the donations were going to be refunded from what I could gather. And that was where it was left off. And everyone was like, right, that saga is over. It's all finished. But today, it's back live. It's back live. It's back at $68,000, 677. And people are still donating right now, as you can see. People are obviously very confused, especially down in the comment section. People are like, what information are you talking about? I can only assume that Jason won't talk about it. But if there's one thing that I know about Jason, now I don't know him personally. Well, I do know him personally, but like I've never met him physically face to face. But from what I know about him personally, is I know for a fact that he wouldn't do something like this unless he knew something. He knows something, which is why I believe that the fact that he's going for the urgency, like he stated in this post here, talking about resuming the efforts with more urgency than ever. This tells me that he knows something big. He wouldn't continue the fundraiser if there wasn't a chance in hell that he would be that something was going on. He knows something. And that's just based off of my knowledge of him as well. He's put still in the fight, hashtag still a chance, which again tells us everything that we really need to know, which is clearly something has happened. Now, as of right now, that doesn't mean that the yesterday's information is null and void. No, not at all. What that means is yesterday's information is now more relevant than ever. So we don't know who bought at least the debt to kind of take it off of auction. Based off of the information that Jason had and he mentioned in his live stream yesterday, which is still very vague, we don't really know all of the details, ins and outs. He kind of talks about it and what he roughly is aware of. So let's go over that very, very quickly. So he has stated that there's obviously the auction cancellation. So the planned auction for the Conjuring House scheduled for Halloween has been cancelled. The auctioneer announced that someone has purchased the banknote or satisfied the back payments, halting the foreclosure process. Not necessarily meaning that they are the property owners as of this right now. So that's probably why something's happened today, literally just within the past hour or so, and Jason's jumped on this as quickly as he can. Now, obviously, yesterday, he did mention that the GoFundMe campaign was paused, but obviously with almost $70,000 raised, but now that has gone back on. There's the speculation on the buyer, so obviously it's completely uncertain who has purchased the paid off the debt and purchased the debt, but there's obviously a lot of people who are in the running right now. Bagans is one of them, and so is Matt and Elton were thrown out there, but they've already stated that they haven't got anything to do with this. There's concerns about obviously the ethics as well. So there are concerns in the ethics of the transaction, particularly regarding Jacqueline Nunez's mental state and whether she's capable of making informed decisions. Questions are raised about whether someone took advantage of her situation potentially. There's also the community efforts. So obviously the paranormal community railed significantly, raising a substantial amount of funds very quickly to persevere the Conjuring House and it as an accessible historic site. And the effort was inspired by a plea from Andrea Perrin, of course. There's also the transparency and refunds. As of yesterday, there was approximately 1,800 contributors, which Jason said he would fully refund without any questions asked. There's speculation on the motives that they had, of course. There's historical significance and, talking about it, future plans for it, public interest, legal, financial details. Now, there's a lot that went on, but the important key information to take away right now is, well, first of all, there's still the ambiguity around who has done this. We have no idea. Someone has paid up some money, which has meant that it is taken off the foreclosure auction. So that means that on October 31st, there will no longer be, and as far as my knowledge is aware, there will still no longer be an auction. But what that does mean is that someone possibly could, like, there's a possibility that someone might still be able to sweep in. I don't know. I really wish I knew. I'm just going off of what, like, speculation is telling me. But the fact that Jason's jumped in on this with this, again, this dollar amount, you know, and he's saying, we with urgency, let's get this rolling again. And the fact that it's been put back up, this is really significant, to say the very least. I'm highly intrigued to see what's going to happen moving forward. I hope that we get a bit more clarity and details from someone. It doesn't just have to be Jason, but as you can see down in the comments, this is also fast. Who has the banknote? Do you know who's paid off the banknote? I'm confused. I thought someone had purchased the house and the auction was cancelled. Everyone's kind of talking the same, and it's like, what the hell is going on? We literally have no idea. Jason's ambiguity is adding to that speculation. We just want to know, and I want to know, and everyone wants to know, and oh, this just got so exciting so fast, didn't it? Got so exciting so fast. I'm going to leave a link to the GoFundMe, obviously, down in the pinned comment and down in the description. If you are able to go and support it, obviously go and do so. It means, you know, people will be able to support Jason with being able to get to that goal quickly, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, how exciting is this? This is literally an emotional roller coaster. Yesterday, literally no more than 24 hours ago, I was sat in this very chair saying, breaking news, the Conjuring house is sold and job done, and everyone thought that was the case. Jason was sat on a live stream saying the very same thing, and then 24 hours later, here we are saying, actually, it seems like there might still be a chance. I'm excited to see how the next 24, 48, 72 hours progresses, because you know for a fact that this shit's gonna go crazy. This is going sideways. Any ideas, anyone? Literally throw out your suggestions. I'm intrigued to hear what you've got to say down in the comments below. Yeah, let's see if we can bump up these numbers a little bit, and let's see if we're able to help Jason reach that goal. Get the ball rolling on this GoFundMe again. Share out the link if you can to people. I think it's going to be very intriguing to see how things progress over the next few days at the very least. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe, and until next time, I will speak to you later. Peace. Then we got the news that the sale is no longer just on, but Jason Hawes might actually be a front runner for being able to buy the Conjuring house. The Conjuring house situation is legit giving me whiplash right now. It's really difficult to keep up with what's going on, but I'm going to do my best to try and keep you as informed as possible. So, obviously, a couple of days ago, it was announced that Jason Hawes will be doing a GoFundMe to try and raise the funds after a plea from Andrea Perrin to get the Conjuring house. Everyone responded well to it. The funds raised over $70,000 or something crazy like that within like 2 days. It was quite a big deal. And then all of a sudden, it was stated that the Conjuring house had been sold. So we were like, oh, holy crap. That means that we're gonna, that GoFundMe is gonna be null and void. No one else is gonna be able to get it. We don't know who got the property. And then we got the information that actually, that's not even the case. But the reaction to the Conjuring house being sold was highly interesting in my opinion. Before we get into it, a couple of things I want to tell you. Be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to be kept up to date. Also, there is a brand new Simply channel, Simply Gaming. If you're interested in gaming content, live streams and stuff like that, that's what I'm going to be doing over on my brand new channel right here. I'll leave a link to it down in the pinned comment if you're interested in getting involved and joining in and, you know, coming for live streams and stuff like this. Then you can join us over there. Anyway, shameless plugs out of the way. first person we're going to be talking about is Amy Bruni. Over on Twitter, she made a post as soon as it was announced that the Conjuring house was literally sold, and she stated, "I don't know who swooped in on the Conjuring house, but I certainly know who I hope it isn't." Quote, and well, in brackets, and I haven't seen one person bring their names up as a contender. So obviously, a lot of people kind of throwing out a lot of names. Comedian Matt Rife and his friend bought it. No, they didn't. Surely not Adam. He does love with a passion buying historical haunted buildings. Adam Berry. If it was Zach, it's done for. To be clear, I'm not talking about Zach. I figured in the statement it's a name that hasn't been brought up. Anyone seen anyone bring up? Would make it obvious, lol. The only reason I'm not saying the name is the person is highly litigious. So that's interesting, actually. I wonder who she's referencing to. I have no idea who she's I don't know who she's referring to here. CJ Fasion. No, I've literally never heard of that person until today. You know, probably just a lot of people throwing around a lot of names and then being like, nope, not them, not them, not them. Moving on from that, obviously Jason Hawes did a long live stream about it, talking about the situation. Obviously, that's now dated, but, you know, we'll get onto that in just a moment. But this video is now officially back on. So this is from WPRI, who put out Conjuring House Halloween auction cancelled. This was completely kind of null and void, but now it is not.
First at 5, we are following developing news in the Conjuring House controversy. The auction of the home that was scheduled for Halloween has been canceled. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. Target 12 investigator Sarah Granelli has more on what this means for the historic property. Sarah?
Well, Shannon, Mike, an attorney who represents Needham Bank, tells me someone bought the mortgage for the property, but wouldn't say who is behind it or how much it costs. Another twist in the Conjuring House saga, the foreclosure auction that was set for Halloween is canceled. According to a law firm that represents Needham Bank, the underlying mortgage on the property was sold. While we don't know who's behind the purchase, they took over for the bank, buying the debt on the home. This means they can either ask the current owner, Jacqueline Nunez, to transfer the property or go through the auction process. This comes as Andrea Perrin, whose family's story inspired the blockbuster hit The Conjuring, took to social media.
And all I can think about is this vision that I have of you being at the farm as the owner.
She asked the paranormal community and the star of Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters, Jason Hawes, to buy the property. She said she's fearful that whoever buys the property will use it to make money instead of honoring its rich history.
There are historically haunted locations that have been bought up by corporations that are just looking to make a quick buck.
Hawes then created a GoFundMe with the goal of raising $1.5 million to buy it. It's raised tens of thousands of dollars in the matter of days.
When it comes down to my goal for the house, I would love to see the community come together, raise enough funds to get the property open, fix it up, get it open.
Target 12 has previously reported famous comedian Matt Rife and YouTuber Alton Castee also have had their eyes set on buying the property. The pair previously purchased Ed and Lorraine Warren's property in Connecticut, which is home to hundreds of paranormal artifacts, including the Annabelle doll.
To us, this is like a piece of paranormal history, and we just would really love to make this a place where people can experience it from all over the world.
Hawes and Castee both tell me they don't know who bought the mortgage. With the Target 12 investigator, Sarah Granelli, 12 News.
So that's kind of where we were at. And then all of a sudden, right, so everyone kind of saw that as, right, job done, clean slate, walk away, let's, you know, move on with our lives. Well. This is kind of crazy, to be like very, very honest, because we've got Jason posting 17 hours ago. Hello everyone, we're currently waiting on a word on what happened to the Conjuring property. What we do know, a company or individual purchased the banknote, the debt owed on the property from the bank. This stopped the auction. This is not uncommon practice for debt collectors to buy large chunks of bank debts in hopes of profit. They did not purchase the house as of this time. The Conjuring house is still owned by the owner on the October 31st. Whoever owns the banknote will then start to foreclosure proceedings. I think we need to hope for the best. No matter what what we need to remember is people came together from around the globe in the hopes of saving and preserving the Conjuring house. It was so fast growing. And news channels and incredible folks at GoFundMe, who, as well as the many others, were so blown away by the support they could asked to help. We were unstoppable. So that was kind of the situation. But then, all of a sudden, right, Jason Hawes makes a complete U-turn on this, as we know, and basically states the GoFundMe is back up and running. No other real information until Jason posted this video to his YouTube channel, which states the Conjuring house, our time is now, in which he had this to state.
Everybody, Jason Hawes here. So I want to do a quick update. If you noticed, I kicked back open the GoFundMe, and we're going to start cranking this along. So it's all about saving the Conjuring house. Andrea's plea. And bottom line, let me just make this clear. A lot of misunderstandings are out there. Needham Bank sold off the mortgage. They didn't sell off the house. They sold the mortgage. So whoever bought the mortgage is now going to have to go through the whole foreclosure process again. And talking to the team all day long, there's a lot of different avenues we have now. This actually makes it a higher probability than we were last week when we had to go up against everybody. We can do this. This can be a historic movement like no other. We can leave our mark on history. This is, yesterday, I'll be honest, yesterday I felt broken. I felt broken inside. But after today, spending the entire day in meetings and different things, I'm more energized than ever, because this is really a possibility that we can win and save the Conjuring house for everybody, not just for the selected few who can afford it, not just the neighbors. Everybody's going to benefit here. This is just, I don't even know what to say. I feel so energized inside, and I'm just cranked up because we can do this. We can make a mark on history like no other, especially when it comes down to the paranormal community, the believers, the non-believers, skeptics, debunkers. And we can do so much more. With that property, we can build, we can take land, we can build other structures, things to advance the field. But it's there. Our chance is there. It's now. We can do this. We can answer Andrea's plea, and we can win this. This, honestly, can be historic. And you know what, guys? I've stepped up. I know you guys stepped up. Let's just keep on pushing, because this is a good thing for us. Again, they sold the mortgage. They didn't sell the house. Almost like the old saying in Poltergeist, right? They moved the headstones, but they left the bodies. Well, here we go. This is our chance. So let's make some noise, and let's show them that we're better than this, and we can do this, that we're a team. Bottom line. Thanks so much. Love from me to you guys. Stay safe, keep it real, and on to the next.
Very powerful message there. Very energized Jason Hawes. You can respect it. You can see exactly what's going on here. Clearly, he's very, very happy about it. Rightfully so. The jokes about it have still kind of been thrown about, though, because on Instagram, Nick Groff posted a post stating, "I told you Tessa and I were house hunting, and it's them stood in front of the Conjuring house." No, I don't believe that they are the ones that have purchased it, but it's very interesting to see how things are developing. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Obviously, the details are very scarce right now. Jason is very energized and ready to get in there, to get purchasing, to hopefully get the funds raised to be able to buy it. Very exciting times. Over on GoFundMe, obviously, he's rallying a lot of support. So if you are able to support, then I guess, that will go a very, very long way. Let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comments below. Way down there. Don't forget to hell out that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace. And not only is he a front runner for purchasing the house, but he is willing to match dollar for dollar the GoFundMe funds in order to be able to acquire this property. Jason Hawes has just dropped an absolute bombshell when it comes to the Conjuring house, and a pretty big update. So obviously, as we know at this current time, Jason Hawes is well in the running once again to try and get the Conjuring house. It was on, it was off, it was on, it was off. Man, I'm getting whiplash over here with how hard my head is whipping back and forth, keeping up with what's actually trying to be going on. Now, just before we get into it, obviously I want to clear up some rumors and misconceptions. Nick Groff posted over on his Twitter page and over on his Instagram story stating that, I told you guys that me and Tessa were looking to buy a property. They're not buying the Conjuring house. They just made a little joke about it. So this is the post that they posted over on Twitter, right? I told you Tessa and I were house hunting, hashtag the Conjuring house, and everyone was like, oh my god, that means that they're going to be doing this and all the rest of it. But no, that's not the case. Nick even confirmed this and stated we're only hunting, not buying. But now that I've got everyone's attention, go and support Jason Hawes to go and save the Conjuring house, and then tagging in the GoFundMe. So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to clear up, because people saw him in my thumbnail yesterday and I think I might have just missed it in translation. Nick is not going for the Conjuring house. He's actually very supportive of Jason with this ongoing situation. Now, moving forwards from that, I've seen a lot of people throw a lot of shade at Jason over the past kind of couple of days to try and say, well, you know, why is Jason doing a fundraiser when, you know, he's valued and net worth is $3 million. That doesn't actually mean he's got $3 million, by the way. That just means his assets altogether are at the value of $3 million. But, you know, he's worth $3 million. Why isn't he just buying it himself? Why does he need the community support? So, from what I've gathered, right, and Jason's not asked me to clear this up in any capacity, but I just felt like I wanted to, because obviously I'm the one that's reporting on it, so people are, like, looking to me for answers. Basically, Jason he's already stated that if he wanted it, he could absolutely go and get it, but he never wanted it, right? And it wasn't until the plea of Andrea Perrin, you know, who just had her birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Andrea. You know, she stated, I want Jason to have this property, and then he was like, do you know what? Let's do it. But he obviously wants to keep the costs low so that the large majority of people who typically can't go and afford to pay to go to the Conjuring house before, when it was owned by Jacqueline, for example, when it was worth about, you know, $2,500 to go in and just do an overnight investigation. He wants that to be accessible for everyone, and he doesn't want to profit from this. So the only way that he can do that is by not investing his own money, because he's going to have to bankroll $1.5 million, which is a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? And if he was to do that, he's obviously going to want to get back that profit. So he will have to charge more money. But if he can get the support of the community, he can keep the costs low, and then that means, you know, all the rest of it. When it was off, he already stated he was going to be issuing refunds and all the rest of it. So that's nothing to be really worried about. But moving on from that, everyone has been stating, why do you need a GoFundMe? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? You're not committed. That's kind of the crux of the situation. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, because Jason's just dropped an absolute bombshell, which completely kind of blows out of the water that sentiment now, which means that that's kind of an argument that people shouldn't really be able to lodge against him anymore. So over on my YouTube video, right, the video entitled Breaking Conjuring House Sale is back on with Jason Hawes, right, this one right here. I apologise for the blurry screen in the past few, by the way. I tried to clean my camera and I just ended up using my finger and I left like a proper filthy smudge over it. So it's looked pretty crappy. Hopefully it's a bit better today. I've used some like glass cleaner. Right, anyway, little caveat out of the way. By the way, if you haven't already, drop a like on this video. I forgot to do the whole YouTube thing. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. But he commented, Jason did, on this video down here. So he said, I'm working on a video, can't say too much, but we can 100% do this. This will be historic. Obviously, that is the video that he dropped here. The fight to save the Conjuring house is back on. I think it was that one. But he posted a comment to this one saying, how about this? And this was 12 hours ago, by the way, so this is fresh off the heat. How about this? To show my commitment, I will personally match every dollar raised from my GoFundMe up to $1 million. That is nuts. So basically what Jason's saying here is every dollar that has been invested and continues to be invested up to a cap of $1 million, he will match pound for pound. Well, not pound for pound, dollars for dollar, because to be fair, if he was to match it pound for pound, right, compared to the dollars, the pound is worth so little that he would just have to start taking funds out of the GoFundMe. But there we go. Anyway, so to put that into context, that doesn't mean that it reaches $500,000 and then he matches a further $500,000. That means if people put in $1 million, he will match $1 million, which will make it $2 million. If people put in 500,000, he will put in 500,000, which will make it $1 million. If they put in 750,000, he will personally invest 750,000. So that means that, you know, basically he'll pay 50%. We as a community will pay 50%. So if we take a little look at the GoFundMe right now, which by the way is on absolute smoke, So this GoFundMe right now is on $97,223. That were, let me just refresh that, $73. So someone's clearly put in, you know, a bit more money. So, you know, that's how much has been raised, and that's from 2.6 thousand donations so far, which is quite insane. 815 people have just made a donation, which is crazy. So obviously that's what the donations are currently at, which means that Jason, let's round up, I'm shite at maths, so we're just going to round it up to the nearest 100,000, right? So let's say that's at $100,000. That means that Jason is going to match at $100,000. So this isn't just sat on 100,000 anymore. This is sat on $200,000 because Jason is matching pound for pound. All right, so that means it's not longer on 7% or 8% when it's at 100,000. That'll be on 16% towards the goal. So basically double everything that you see on here. Double everything. That's huge. Now, obviously, as well, I think there needs to be a massive applause to the community for this. When did this get shared? When was this first announced? Let's take a little look at Jason's page. I think it was 7 days ago. So from 7 days ago, the community's managed to raise just under $100,000, which is crazy. But with that, the GoFundMe has been taken down and put back up twice for about 2 days in total. So that let's say, if we do the maths, that's been up for about 5 days. $100,000 made in 5 days. That's about $20,000 a day that has been raised for the Conjuring house. At this trajectory, obviously, you know, like, let's keep pushing it. Obviously, it's going to... It looks like we could possibly get there, which is crazy. And that means that Jason would be able to, obviously, you know, get his hands on the Conjuring house. So, I mean, it can't be understated what's been done here. So, yeah, I think that that's quite a big deal. To the fact that Jason said, how about this, to show my commitment, I'll personally match every dollar raised from the GoFundMe. Because, obviously, before that wasn't the case, but now it is. It is the case. Jason is willing to invest his own money, put in up to $1 million into this fund, right, of his own personal funds, so long as everyone else kind of, you know, does their fair share as well, I suppose. I think that that's absolutely crazy. I think that, you know, Jason has kind of, I suppose, seen the arguments made and been like, you know what, fair enough, I'll invest as well. He was always going to have to invest, in my personal opinion. I think that he would have needed to put something in to be able to just help it along its way. But the fact that he's willing to match dollar for dollar is pretty big. What do you guys think of this? Obviously, Jason is going hell for leather at this now. He's gone from a man who obviously didn't want it to now a man who's willing to just push it hard. And pushing it hard is what he is doing. Obviously, we need to keep an eye on Jason's channel if you want to be kept up to date with the latest news. He's got it, not me. I'm just kind of going off of the information that I'm given. So keep an eye on Jason's YouTube channel over on YouTube, Jason Hawes, if you've not subscribed to it or following it, if you want to be kept up to date. The past 3 videos, of course, have been talking about this significant situation. It'll be interesting to see what goes on. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. We're down there. Jump scare the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace. What a crazy week it's been. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down in the comments below. Way down there. Jump scare the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.